Hey, welcome to the P3 Network's all-new show, Wisconsin Sports News. I almost screwed that up already.
That's fair.
This is Bobo. I'm going to be one of the hosts, and with me is my co-host,
The Boss, coming at you.
So, what we're going to do on this show, and Boss and I have been talking about it, what 3 weeks now?
At least 3 weeks.
Okay. We've been talking about it for about 3 weeks now, and we've been trying to get together and actually do this, but unfortunately we have this thing called work, and it just kind of messes that up.
Right, exactly. Gets in the way of things.
So, Boss is on vacation. I worked this morning, but it was the morning, so hey. Now, we're going to talk about all Wisconsin sports news. And because a certain team has made the playoffs,
the Brewers,
we're going to extend it and actually talk about the entirety of the playoffs as well.
For
baseball.
For MLB.
I myself am going to be talking a lot about hockey, the AHL, primarily the Admirals, of course. Then their professional team, which is not a Wisconsin team, but they're our professional team, the Nashville Predators. I'll also be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Unfortunately, we have a Bulls fan here on the podcast too. So,
Hey, don't worry about it. They're still going to beat the Bucks in the playoffs. So.
Well, they always beat the Bucks.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just saying.
We haven't exactly until we got the Greek Freak. We didn't exactly have the A team.
You guys do have Jennings, though.
I mean, yes, we have Jennings as well. So, but now that we have the Greek Freak, I mean, he's doing amazing. I can't say his name, so
Akumbo?
Yeah, that. But so now that we have him, I mean, the Bucks basketball has improved immensely.
Yeah, because you guys have a star player. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Give him the ball, you score. I mean.
Exactly. So we're going to start out talking about some sad news. Unfortunately, our Green Bay Packers
have lost
to the Detroit Lions.
Very sad news.
Yeah, very sad news.
Very sad.
Cried a little bit. Not going to lie. They lost 31-23 to the Lions. 4 turnovers.
4 turnovers.
4 missed field goals.
See, but the field goals, I mean, you got to take the field goals within,
Well, 3 field goals and an extra point.
No, you just got to think, though. I mean, no, I believe it was 4 field goals.
And an extra point? So
an extra
5
point.
total.
Yeah.
Huh.
But you got to think, too, I mean, Crosby, I mean, he's been there for how long? How many game winners has he had?
Well, yeah, and I mean, that balances it out completely. But
yeah.
Those...
Well, my thing is you got Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
He's $1 million man.
Yes.
He's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be scoring. We shouldn't have to have Crosby out there kicking field goals. I mean, they should be getting in that red zone. They should be scoring 6 points. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That shouldn't be an issue.
Exactly. And, I mean... I wanted to start with this because this is the most depressing news we have of the entire week.
It's just bad.
I mean, and it's so hard to face certain people at work, especially like the Vikings fan. And it's so hard to see, to face them and face these coworkers of ours that have, that just have this mentality where, ha, the Packers lost. Just kind of made me sad. It's like, ouch, man. Yeah, we know they lost. Thanks for rubbing it in, brother. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard, because seeing our Packers lose, it's hard. It was hard watching them lose to the Redskins. It was hard watching them tie the Vikings.
Yeah, but you got to think, though. I mean, they may not be playing their best ball now, but the Packers are definitely a second-half team.
Oh, yeah. They always have been.
They're always an end-of-the-season team. I mean, as long as the Bears don't get too good along the way, I mean, we'll definitely be able to keep up and try to take the title again.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, we have a good team. And it's just it's like it's always been with the Packers, though. Like,
Exactly.
we'll have rough games, we'll have great games, and then we'll have rough games.
That's just how it is. And they play the 49ers like next week, and I'm just saying, I think that's going to be a really good game to where they need to figure out if they're going to be a contender or if they're not going to be.
Yeah, and I think that game is really gonna it's gonna set the tone.
I think so.
It really is.
Because if they do good during that game, it's going to set the tone into bye week, and that's really going to set where they're going to play out the season.
Oh yeah, and that's always important. Our bye week is like it's the be all end all.
Exactly.
It always has been, and
always.
It's been as long as I've been a Packers fan, which is basically always. So it's something that it's going to be important. Now, the first of the good news, and we're not getting to the Brewers yet, so don't get too excited.
I can't get too excited, but we're almost getting there.
We're almost there. My team, my boys, the Milwaukee Admirals. My hockey team that I have loved since I was literally old enough to understand that hockey was not baseball, not football, to understand that hockey was running around on ice, slamming into people. Yeah.
That's half the fun, though.
It is. So the Milwaukee Admirals started out their season on the 6th, which was Saturday. I did not get to watch the game, so I can't offer any highlights, any things that really jumped out to me. What I can offer is that the Milwaukee Admirals versus the Texas Stars. The Admirals won 4-3. They took the shot. They took 25 shots to the Texas's 24, and they rocked it out, and they won it. Game-winning. Let me see if I can find the game-winning goal here. Okay, so game-winning goal was Rocco Grimaldi. He was assisted by Anthony Richard. So that was, I didn't get to listen or anything. I don't actually have any information beyond that. Game-winning goal was Rocco Grimaldi, and I'm gonna get Boss into hockey this year. I'm bound and determined.
I don't think you really are, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm taking you to a game. That's gonna happen.
I'll enjoy it if I'm there, but otherwise we're not getting into it.
Yeah, and that's fine. But actually, the Admirals play tonight. They play San Antonio Rampage tonight. At I believe 7, I think it said. So they play the Rampage tonight. They're going to be in San Antonio on the 13th, which is Saturday. They're home against the Hershey Bears. Yup, Hershey, Pennsylvania Bears. And then we go to our bitter rival, the Chicago Wolves, on Sunday. So the Amtrak rivalry starts early this year, folks. All right, you've been waiting for it. I think it's time.
Talking about the Brewers?
We're talking about the Brewers.
We're talking about MLB baseball. Here we go. All right, you want to talk about the AL or the NL first?
Well, let's start away from our team, and let's start with the AL.
All right, we'll talk about the AL. We'll talk about who closed it out first.
Oh, yeah.
The Houston Astros obviously beat it
was the Indians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Indians.
And let me tell you what, they're not playing like they're in Major League. We'll just say that.
The Indians.
They were not ready.
They were not
ready for the Houston Astros.
And it was a 3-0 sweep.
Oh, it was a 3 sweep.
Yeah, it was a 3-0 sweep. And that last game, I actually watched that last game yesterday.
So did I. There's a lot of things going on in there, and
there was a lot of something going on over there.
Not in the Indians' favor.
It was a little rough, actually.
It was rough.
I mean, really, it was like watching. It was like watching the Brewers of the '90s. To be honest,
it was like watching the '91 Brewers where they play 100 games and they win maybe 20 if they're lucky.
Yeah,
and that's about how it went. And the Indians just did not look like the team they were, 3 years ago.
No, or not even.
They were just when they were in contending. They're just
and
they're just not the team they were.
They didn't even look like a team that they were this season. because they were a decent team this season.
I don't know what happened if they just hit a rut. If whatever they hit just did not work.
No, and it really didn't. And I mean, it looked good when they were at home. They were up 1-0.
Yeah,
and then Houston tied it up. Cleveland knocked it out of the park to take the lead 2-1, and then they just fell apart offensively, and then they fell apart defensively.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just how it went.
And yeah,
that was pretty much tail to take for the whole series.
The rest of that game was
just how it was.
Yeah, the rest of that game was just awful. It really was. It felt like when I was young and watching the Brewers on TV, when we didn't have like satellite, and we didn't have satellite to watch them where you could watch them.
You had one channel, 1 out of 6 channels, and you yelled at the TV when it didn't come in, and then you were worried
Yes.
that it wasn't going to come in, and you just what you watched.
Yeah, and now my dad owned a bar.
Yeah.
So, and the house was actually a bar. So we had one of those big round satellite dishes.
Right, you had a good one.
Yeah, the huge one that they reactivated when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And we had that most of my childhood. Well, then, they got Dish, I think, right as I was getting into high school, basically.
Right.
Dish Network.
Yeah.
And then that was it, and we could watch FSN and FS Wisconsin.
Watch all the fun stuff then.
Yeah, I mean, that was when I first started to be able to watch Brewer games more than just one a year when we went down there.
Right, exactly.
Although, I got an interesting factoid for you.
Yeah?
Every professional and semi-pro team that I have gone to a game, and this is the Bucks, the Brewers, and the Packers, every game that I have gone to, they have won. Even when they were not picked to win.
You should definitely start going with me, because that's not going to happen anymore.
Hey, you never know. I mean, what, are you a curse? Are you a jinx?
No, I'm not a jinx. I've just been to a lot of sporting events. I'm just saying. You can only go to so many sporting events before you're a jinx.
Well, I went to every year for, I think, 10 years.
What, every year one game?
Every year one game for 10 years.
I go to at least 4 Packer games a year. They do not win. I mean, recently they have. Last year was not a good situation.
Okay,
but we're not going to talk about what happened last season.
Well, yeah, no. Last season was a different monster entirely. But can I point something out to you? After, let's see, up until 2004, 2005, they had a perfect home record.
They did.
So, from Holmgren to the beginning of the McCarthy era, they had a perfect home record. So, I mean, you couldn't have been that bad going to 4 Packer games a year.
I go to Minnesota.
Okay, fair.
And I go to Chicago.
Well, going to Minnesota, that's a different story.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about Minnesota games, especially.
Besides, plus one of the games I went to was when the New York Giants played the Packers, and that was an upset, and that was super upsetting.
Wasn't that a playoff game?
It was.
Wasn't that the 4th and 22 game?
It was bad. It was rough.
That was the 4th and 22 game,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it
yeah. Nobody talks about that game.
No, we just don't bring that up. You brought it up.
But yeah, so then, okay, so we talked about the Cleveland Indians and the Astros. We got the Sox and the Yankees.
Sox and the Yankees. Sox are up 2 on them. I don't know if you've been watching that, but...
No, I have not been able to watch that one. Last night when that one was on, we were watching Raw.
Did you see when the Oakland Athletics played the Yankees?
No.
Man, I tell you what, Chris Davis looked hot. He was looking good.
Okay.
He was DHing, obviously, because they're in the AL. They have DHs.
Yep.
And he was looking tight. I mean, they had him batting practice, and he was just bombing them out there, and he just couldn't pick it up, and the rest of the A's really weren't having it. And Judge went yard first inning.
Ouch.
And they went up 2-0, and
never looked back.
Never looked back. And then Stanton, he went yard.
Oh, man.
And it was downhill from there.
Yeah.
It's downhill. I mean, it definitely looked like a Yankees victory right after the first inning, because you could tell the Athletics were just
not on par.
Hanging their heads. They knew they were out. They were done.
So then we have now we begin to jump into the NL.
Yeah.
So the NLDS, where the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Dodgers are up, right?
The Dodgers won 3-1.
Oh, they did win 3-1.
They won yesterday.
They did win last night.
They did.
Oh, man. Okay, so yeah.
Oh, man, they're hot, too.
Oh,
the Dodgers
man.
are real hot right now.
So then, we talk about the 3-0 sweep.
We do?
We do. The Brewers.
But I'm telling you, the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah, we got to finish on the Dodgers.
You got to talk about the Dodgers. I mean, they're a hot team right now. They got Puig, he's hot. They got him going on. I mean, they got Kershaw.
Yeah.
And some arguably would say that he's not the ace for the Dodgers.
Really?
Really. Their pitcher last night, what's his name? Starts with a B. Barn?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Barn?
Like that.
Was it Barn? Hold on. Dodgers. Let's see here. Last night's was Game 4. Almost got it. Sorry. Hill. Okay, so that was... All right, here we go. Dodgers. Hill, Madison, Bays, Ferguson, Maeda, and Jensen. Those are who pitched. So who are you? This is Game 4.
This is Game 3.
It was Game 3?
Game 3.
Oh, you said last night. Because that was Game 4 last night.
Game 3 was their ace, and they lost. That was a big upset.
Okay. Game 3... Oh, the 5-6, 6-5 loss. Okay. Bueller? Wood?
Yes, Bueller. That is his name. Because I know I was thinking the other day, I was like, Bueller.
Oh, man. Okay, so.
No, so Bueller, he's awesome, man. He's an ace,
7 Ks.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 earned runs.
But only in 5 innings.
Yeah, in 5 innings. So,
but I mean, he's been pulling numbers better than that all year.
Yeah,
and I mean
it's
that's
on
just
2
the thing
hits too.
Yeah, and they're trying to say that Kershaw's the ace, and I personally disagree with that.
Okay.
I mean, I love Kershaw. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Bueller's been killing it. I mean, we'll just say that,
Yeah, and it looks like all the runs. You got 2 in the third, and all 5 runs came in the second.
Right, exactly.
Holy man! And then after that, he pulled.
Do you know what that was off of? It was a grand slam.
Oh, grand slammy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Acuna.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
Acuna for the Braves out in there in left field.
Oh man. So then, I mean, and the Dodgers didn't have to fight for anything. Never mind.
No.
They didn't have to
They're
fight.
They're going to fight when
first.
they play Brewers, though.
Yeah, they're going to fight. I think that one will go at least 4 games.
Oh man,
if not 5.
Man, I'm thinking at least 6.
Yeah, you think 6?
For sure.
So we got the Brewers who swept the Rockies in 3 games.
And the Rockies only scored 2 points against the Brewers.
Yep. And I mean, that says something for our defense. That's got to say something.
No, I'd say something for a bullpen.
That bullpen defense in general. All of it.
I mean, I guess it depends what you're looking at. Are you looking at our infield defense or are you looking at our outfield defense?
Yes.
Our infield?
Our outfield.
I'm telling you right now that Arcia is the best looking shortstop in the league.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Did you see some of his plays?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. He this year, he has just...
He stepped it up.
Oh, he did.
Absolutely.
It was incredible.
And then we had help from Kratz.
Yeah.
The veteran.
Yeah, Kratz. I mean,
Moustakas from the Royals. Moustakas has been killing it.
Oh, yeah.
He had the go-ahead in 2 different games. He had the go-ahead in game number 2 and game number 3.
Yep.
He had the go-ahead. I mean, granted, we had more runs, but we had the go-ahead by Moustakas. Moustakas has been a great addition to the Brewers.
Absolutely. And, I mean, let's talk for a moment about the MVP. I know it's not official yet.
Christian Yelich.
Oh, man.
I mean, where would the Brewers be now if they didn't have Yelich?
They wouldn't be where they are, I can tell you that right now.
I mean, that's just sad fact, plain and simple.
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to take about a minute break here.
Okay.
And we'll come back and we'll talk about the upcoming battle for the Brewers.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be back here on Spreaker.com. Hopefully you're listening on Spotify because that's something I just added. And I believe it goes up on YouTube as well. So, all right, we'll be back here in just a minute. Hey, this is Bobo.
And this is Umsi.
And we want to talk to you about our other shows here on the P3 Network.
Most Fridays, of course, you can catch myself and Bobo on the Friday Night Party Redux Edition live on Spreaker, YouTube, and a little later on Spotify.
And earlier in the week, you can catch me, the independent Pokemon champion, and Charisma, the P3 Pokemon Stadium champion, on Vintage Reviews with Bobo.
And coming soon, you'll be able to catch Bobo and a new contributor on an all-new podcast called Wisconsin Sports News.
So that's the rundown of the P3 Network's current programming. And now, back to the show. Hey, Wisconsin listeners, this is Bobo. The games and movies we talk about here on the P3 Network could be yours. How? Check out Mojo's Electronics in Antigo, Shawano, and Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Boss coming at you. That's Mojo's Electronics, exclusive friends on the P3 Network.
Hey, we're back. This is Bobo. This is Wisconsin Sports News, here with the boss today. We're live. Well, we're not live, but we're on Spreaker.com, YouTube.
We are.
We're not live.
No, we're not live. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
We're on speaker.
We're on Spreaker. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on... yeah, I think that's it. All right, so we were talking about the Milwaukee Brewers and oh man, I have waited 7 years to say this again. The National League Championship Series, the NLCS, Milwaukee Brewers
versus the Dodgers. Coming at you quick with the Brewers having home field advantage.
Yes.
So the first two games are going to be in Milwaukee. How exciting is that, and when is the last time that has happened? I'm pretty sure it's 82.
Literally has never happened.
82?
No.
It wasn't even in 82?
They did not have home field throughout. The NLCS, they were away.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, the NLCS. I'll have to double check my facts on that. We'll do that next week.
Okay.
And actually, so that starts Friday.
Yeah. Oh, it does. It starts Friday, and guess what I'll be doing?
Watching that?
The boss being on vacay, be laid back in my lazy boy watching that Brewers versus Dodgers, gonna get it.
Oh man, after I go get Ethan, Dad and I are going to get Ethan in Appleton, and then we'll be coming back home, and we'll be kicking it too and watching the Brewers versus the Dodgers.
Oh, we're gonna be watching the Dodgers versus the Brewers on the big screen. That's what we're gonna be doing. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, me, myself, and I. Don't worry about it.
Oh, here, I thought you were inviting me over.
I mean, if you want to come over, you can. I'm just saying.
Oh, I gotta. Ethan will be here too, so
that's fine.
I'll probably entertain him on the Wii and at the house and watch it with Dad. And I mean, you can always come watch it on the 70.
130.
130. Or you can come watch it on the 70, and I'll bring out some hot wings or something.
We can talk about that. We can
talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then afterwards, we can go live and talk.
That's true. We can go live and talk about what happened.
Exactly.
That's very true.
That's what I was thinking. We can go live afterwards.
I'd be alright with that.
Talk about that
for sure.
So, now, do we know who? I don't think we know who's starting yet. Do we?
For what?
For the Brewers.
I don't think the Brewers know, to be completely honest.
I mean, that would be... I don't know yet. We're going to Google that, ladies and gentlemen. Google.com, lovely tool of the P3 Podcast Network. Brewers, we're gonna Google Brewers starter versus, not starts, starter versus Dodgers. All right, so let's see here. Dodgers are supposedly the most patient team in baseball. Did you see that?
I don't know if I agree with that. You ever see the Brewers bat?
Yeah, I have.
Not gonna lie, I feel like they are definitely the most patient at the plate.
So, actually, they have not announced the official starter yet.
They did.
I don't think they're going to announce it till game day.
I don't think they are either.
Yeah, so they haven't even decided what time.
No, I know. Because what they're doing is they're waiting to see who wins the AL, and they're deciding who's going to be the primetime game.
Oh, man.
But I still can't imagine that the Milwaukee versus the Dodgers is not going to be the primetime. I mean, they both won in 3 and 4 games. I mean, how do you not want them to just pound each other out? I mean, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Is it bad that I was hoping and praying and just begging the Braves to be the ones to beat the Dodgers?
No, it's not. It's really not, because, it's always one of those things like the Dodgers are a high-paid team.
Well,
you don't want to see them win all the time.
That's not the reason, though.
Why is it?
Think about it. The Atlanta Braves
versus
the Milwaukee Brewers.
See,
Atlanta coming home.
I get that. Well,
the Braves coming home.
I don't know if I'd put it that way, though.
Well, the Braves
I don't know if
back.
I'd say it coming home. I mean, they're just coming back to the pack where they're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. But that's besides the point. Well, I mean,
when the Braves left, they took everything. They took everything. The Milwaukee Brewers had to start over from scratch. They don't have anything.
Well, they had County Stadium.
But what I'm saying is they don't have any championships that all the Braves won when they were the Milwaukee Braves. Which, is it really fair to the players in Milwaukee?
I mean, it's not. Because
we had Hank Aaron, and they're trying to take that. You can't do that.
That's true. Because
it's very true.
It's painful, because he started with.
He did.
He did. And, I mean, we had Robin Yount, which...
So what?
And we have the best commentator in the entire universe.
Absolutely.
In Bob Uecker.
Uecker is definitely the best commentator, hands down, no doubts about it.
When that man, boss, when that man dies...
I'm going to cry.
I'm not coming to work.
I'm calling to work. Calling into work. I'm not going. We're not going to discuss it. I'm going to come back the next day. I'm going to be coming in strong.
Yeah, well, I won't be there, just like when Betty White dies.
That's too bad.
When Betty White
Bob
dies...
Bob Uecker's above Betty White, but, I mean, I can't say I disagree.
Well, okay, but when Betty White dies, I mean, we're losing a goddess.
I know.
Let's just be honest.
I know. I can't say I disagree.
So, so Friday, Saturday in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And that's all that's announced.
I think Gio's going to start, to be completely honest.
I can see that.
Because I think he's going to go a strong 5 innings, and then we're going to hope that they start Kershaw. We want them to start one of their aces. Because I don't see him starting Buehler right away. And then what we're going to do is we're going to beat him 2-0 in the first game. Second game, we're going to go up against Buehler. We'll probably lose that one.
Yeah,
probably lose that one 3-1. Maybe.
I mean, it's at home, so.
But I don't know. I mean, that's what I think.
I mean, I'm trying to get the.
So what you got going on there?
Well, I'm trying to get the because they have a probable starters. Oh, jeez.
I don't know what you're doing there, man.
No, we're not even going there. Nope. The internet. I hate it and love it at the same time.
It's mutual respect.
So I think, I think I agree with you on that, on who's going to start, and I don't see us losing at home though.
I don't either.
That's one big thing. Like I just can't see
our
it.
win streak at home is just crazy.
But we actually have the best road record too.
We do.
So
but you got to think if we're playing in LA.
Well, I think what I'm scared about. I'm not scared about LA. I am, but I'm not. I think we can win one in LA. I don't think we will win both. I don't think we're going to sweep the Dodgers. I don't think
so either. I think we're going to lose one in there at some point in time.
We might even lose two, but I don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to happen. Because, I'm trying to see if I can find a Brewers-Dodgers throughout the season.
Right.
Season series. That's what we said. Actually, hey, okay. Let's see here. How have the Dodgers fared against the Brewers? Let's see here. LA Times. Here we go. LA Times. Fair, unbiased reporting.
Right.
So we're gonna actually see what the enemies say. So Dodgers won in July. Okay, in Milwaukee. They won in Milwaukee. Oh, first game was actually in Milwaukee as well. So they lost one in Milwaukee, won one in Milwaukee. Lost another one in Milwaukee. This was early in the season, though, so we didn't even have. So we actually went 2-2 against them in July. And then August they beat us. And woof. Is that right?
What?
Is that right? 21-5?
That's probably right.
Wow. So, okay. I mean, that's not too bad, I guess. We're 1-0 against Bueller. We're 0-1 against Hill, and we're 1-1 against Kershaw. And Wood beat us too.
Right.
But again, we played them mostly early in the year. August 2nd is the latest game against them. So during the season, we lost that series.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking postseason. We're talking, this is like before we even got Yelich, isn't it?
No, we had him the whole year.
I thought we only had him half the year.
No, we had him at the beginning.
Okay.
Him and Kane.
Oh, okay. Who did we get halfway through then? I thought there was somebody we got halfway through.
Masakis.
Oh, Masakis. Okay. Okay, that's who it was. All right.
And Granderson.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a very intense series.
It is. It's going to be very good.
Oh, so, to be honest, boss, I think we can call it here. I don't think there was one Bucks game. The Bucks did win.
There was a Bucks game.
Yeah, the Bucks did win in the preseason matchup. I don't remember against who. Doesn't really matter because
I can look it up quick if you like.
I wouldn't even worry about it because you know what? We're going to be back on Friday to talk about Game 1 of the NLCS. So, I mean, I'm very happy with how this first episode's gone so far.
They won against the Timberwolves.
Oh,
actually, it was 125-107. They actually scored a lot of points. That's actually a lot.
Oh, they actually took out the Bulls, too, earlier.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Ooh, wow. They really took out the Bulls.
Hey, don't worry. The Bulls was playing their bench. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
Don't worry about that loss. Don't worry about that one.
I mean, we'll see. I think that's going to be very interesting, talking Bulls, Bucks.
It'll be a fun back and forth.
I think it will be, too. So I want to thank everybody for everybody who did tune in. Thank you very much for joining us for the first inaugural episode of Wisconsin Sports News. We will be back hopefully on Friday. We'll figure that out
Friday
for sure.
Will be good.
We'll be back Friday to talk about Game 1 of the NLCS Milwaukee Brewers versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. You guys have a great rest of your week and go Wisconsin in general.
Go Wisconsin.